Judge, let me ask you. You're working on a plan to fight truancy, and you're going after parents. How's that work, and what's the first phase of this that you guys, went in and actually made some charges last week?
Well, actually, it's been a good year. This is just us cleaning up those parents who just refuse to cooperate at all. We had a great turnout. Parents did come in. They did go through the system. We got a lot of kids who would not have been in school. We've got some other things we're working on for next year. But these are just the parents who didn't believe what we said. And thanks to SPD and the Sheriff's Department, we put our foot behind what we said, and they understand now. They will be picked up.
Let me ask you this. I'm also hearing that you're working on a program for this summer with regard to curfew and holding the parents responsible. Tell me more about that.
Well, we're looking at kids who commit crimes during the curfew hours, and then we take a step back to see if it's a matter that they were unsupervised. And if they are and there's criminal negligence, we'll bring the parent in and make them kind of explain why this kid was out breaking into the car at 2 o'clock in the morning when there's a curfew. It's a two-step process, a little more complicated, but we started looking at that last year also.
Mr. James, you and I are about the same age, and my sense is that truancy in, say, 1965 or 1970 is a whole hell of a lot simpler to deal with than truancy would be in 2018. Not only the kids you're dealing with, but a lot of parents, too. Am I off the mark there?
No, we just live in a different world. We don't have the same type families, but we have to change to what we're dealing with. The traditional families are not there. Parents are a lot younger. They have different ideas. Some of them is not as important. Going into the uniforms caused a few issues that people didn't anticipate. But we're kind of working on that with some people in the community. But, I think we've got some dedicated people who are getting a handle on it, and we're going to make some progress next year.
So when you're forced to deal with what amounts to parental indifference to the education of their children, how do you deal with that?
Through this, reminding them that they have a legal duty and there are criminal consequences for not doing it. And that's what this roundup was to remind parents. You will be held accountable. I really was enthused by the amount of parents, not the ones who didn't cooperate, but the ones who did come on.
We're talking to James Stewart, District Attorney in Caddo Parish. In the big scheme of things, you've sat down with us before and talked about this, and I want to see how you feel about it now. That this is all part. What you're doing is all part of helping solve our overall crime problem, because we have so many parents who are absentee parents, or they're out to lunch, or they have their own problems. Are you seeing your role in this fighting crime as important as the police department and other roles?
Yeah, everybody's got a role. I just think you've got to stop the flow, and you've got to make those fundamental changes. You don't see the results as fast, but if you don't do something to do that, it'll just increase. So I really, there are a lot of people out there that you may not see who really work hard, who understand that we've got to make a difference in these kids' lives when they're early on to keep them out of the criminal system. You can directly show that the kids are in school, getting their education, they don't commit the crimes.
Do the parents have to pay a fine? Can you detain them? What's the teeth behind it?
Well, that's up to the judges. But what happens is, particularly juvenile court, they have a lot of programs to help parents. We have parents with drug problems who can't find jobs, who have other reasons why they're just not doing it. They get them into those help programs to help them. The ones who just say we ain't going to do it, they have some fines. When we do fines, you start reading through issues, and you really reach out to people and left a hand, which is a great thought.
Mr. James, you had mentioned earlier in our chat here, you had mentioned a curfew for certain youth across the area. Are you concerned at some point that there may be court challenges to this, that there may be some, like the ACLU or somebody similar to that, saying, no, you can't do that? Are you concerned about that at all?
Well, we do it in the right way. We do it we don't just arrest the parent because their child out. We have to make sure there's a criminal negligence causation. So, hey, look at that second step. And once we articulate those facts, we call the parent. Sometimes that's an excuse. Parent doesn't know the kid is out. The mother was at work. Somebody else is supposed to watch it. We understand, but sometimes it's just pure negligence. We're not worried about it.
If I had to ask you, Judge, on these cases of truancy or violating the curfew, what percentage of the parents are just negligent parents, and which ones are just ones that are overwhelmed? They're working 2 or 3 jobs. They have other kids. Is it at 50-50? Is it 90-10? Is it hard to answer that?
It's hard to answer, but I'd say probably 75% of the parents are concerned, and a lot of them just need help and don't know where to reach out to get help.